Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about text wraps in Adobe InDesign. Text wraps can be done in a lot of different ways depending on what you're trying to do. I'll start with the basics. Let's say I have a small image I want to inset into this block of text here. As you can see right now, the text flows behind it, so I'm going to go to my first wraparound bounding box here. You can see how now it's outset. I can move it around, and it's just jumping around accordingly. By tweaking the right, left, top, bottom, I can get different results that way until I'm happy with it. The next one over is typically used for shapes, and we'll get to that one. We'll skip that one for now. Then we have the jump object, where you see the text will jump, just place itself above and below. And then lastly, we get where it's only going to appear above the image and nothing below. So those are some possibilities for a rectangular box, but let's take on something a little more complicated. This image here of the angel statue is a clipped image in Adobe Photoshop, and while I'm happy with this overall look, it would be cooler if the text wrapped around the statue. So as you can see right now, it's passing behind this clipped image. The fast way to do it with this kind of file is to select the wraparound object shape that I mentioned a moment ago. So I'm going to select that. As you can see, it's automatically set to detect edges, and it's detecting the Photoshop edges, which is pretty cool. And I can increase and reduce that offset by playing around with this. And you'll notice we have a problem though, which is that our heading has disappeared because it is trying to wrap, and its box is too small for it to wrap, so it's just going away completely. Well, I don't want to wrap the heading anyway, so I'm going to first make sure the heading is on top of everything else. So I do a send to front, and now it's still missing, which tells me I need to do a Command K for preferences, and then go to composition, and then right here, text wrap only affects text beneath. Click that on, hit OK, and it's back. So it's not going to be affected by this text wrap. Another cool thing about this scenario is that if you decide that your object isn't where you want it to be, you can just move it around and everything adjusts accordingly. This is why it's never a good idea to modify the shape of the text box itself, because then you're stuck with that shape, whereas in this case the text will adjust accordingly. So that's one way to wrap around a complex object. Another way is, let's say this image isn't clipped in Photoshop, and so I don't have that luxury of already having the edges defined. Well, in that case, I'm going to want to go in here and draw. And this can be pretty sloppy because you're just dealing with the text, which has a kind of a vague edge to it anyway, so we don't have to be perfect about this, thankfully. So there's our shape. I'm going to fill it with none, and then I'm going to go over to here to my text wrap, and then I'm going to go back to that wraparound object shape. And so we get the same thing right now. The offset is set to 0, so I'm going to bump that up a bit until I'm happy with it. And again, that object is in front of everything else, so I'm going to have to bring my heading to the front. So we got that back. Adjust my type a little bit. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.